comment on our Potato Bowl game versus Drake. We'll take the win. Obviously, we were disappointed with our performance in the second half. We just penalties, gave up some big plays, had a defensive penalty or two of them on their last drive, and gave up points in the fourth quarter, which we were disappointed in. And then offensively didn't take care of the ball and just couldn't get anything going in the second half. But, we got to give some credit to our opponent. I thought they came in and played hard and gave us some different looks and stuff that, we need to handle better. Going into this week, an exciting week for us, tremendous challenge. We need to focus on us. That's going to be a big emphasis this week. We need to focus on our preparation and get ready for a huge challenge for our football program, but we are looking forward to it and excited to get ready to take on our rival.
Coach, now that you've had a day to reflect, in that second half, was it just the team maybe a little too comfortable with the 21-point cushion, or what was it?
Yeah, you look back and try to find things, but, when you put the ball on the ground and you have a fumbled QB center exchange, you have some penalties and just don't execute as well, you can get into a little bit of a funk, and we couldn't get out of it. And that's the one thing that we're, addressing. How do we get out of these things? We got to be able to handle it when you get off to a poor start. And, there was maybe a little bit of that comfort level. The score is 21-0. We didn't think we played great the first half, but we did some good things. And, defensively we had played pretty solid, and then offensively hit some big plays, but we really weren't consistent in the first half either. So we talked about it, and then we moved forward.
Coach, last week we talked about, we were asking you how the team would handle the big win. I know you haven't been out on the practice field yet, but yesterday in meetings, how do you feel like the team is handling, a game where you didn't play as well as you would have?
Well, right after the game, it was a quiet locker room. It didn't feel like a win, which means our expectations are higher. A year ago, we probably wouldn't have been in that situation. And, it's a change that we're going through after winning the opener and in the fashion we did. That's a learning experience. This week is another learning experience. We've had a lot of things we can teach from, both off the video, both during the game, and how we handle situations, and that's the challenge for us. We still have a lot of new guys in our program. That was our first trip out to the Alaris Center. Did we handle that well enough? We don't think so. So, everything's a new learning environment for our guys and new teaching, and we're going to use it as a learning opportunity.
What do you expect from kind of the farther atmosphere? Just a general experience?
Well, if our players and our coaches haven't heard 18,000 people booing at you, I think we're going to get that. And, so that's going to be part of the environment. It's going to be a lot of noise. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. We know their home environment's a challenge for anybody coming in there. So we expect a lot of noise. We expect, to keep the focus on the field for our team, which is a real challenge. Their student section is real close to your bench, and their fan base, it's a real tight atmosphere down there. They're right on top of you. So we better be able to handle that situation. And then, they're going to play hard. That's one thing about we see on tape. They play with a lot of energy, and they play really hard. And they're a very good football program, and will be challenged.
Is there any difference in preparation going into this game? Are you guys doing any kind of silent play calling, knowing how loud it's going to be there, practicing with noise in the background, perhaps?
Yeah, we practice for noise. We did it last year before we went out to Montana State. We did it this year before we went to Wyoming, and we practice for noise, and we'll do it again. And now with an indoor facility, we have a little bit better opportunity to practice for it. We can get in here and create some noise, and hopefully that helps our team. But, the big thing, too, is, hey, you got to be able to handle those things and just focus on your execution of the play, and that just adds another dimension to it. And no question it plays a factor in it, but we got to be able to handle it, and that's what we're looking forward to, is seeing how our team can handle that situation.
Through two games, what's been your assessment of Keaton's play for what you're asking of him to do in this offense?
Well, the first week we thought he was really sharp, and this past week we felt like he didn't take a step forward. And he's a competitor. He knows it, and we talked to him about it, and I think he'll come out and react very well to it. And that's the challenge for young players is just that high level of consistency, and he'll bounce back. He made some really good plays on Saturday night. It's just that we never bounced back from the poor plays, and then I think we pressed a little bit at times and just never really got into sync.
Your rush defense has been kind of your guys' bread and butter. NDSU's run game is kind of their bread and butter. What are you expecting to see on Saturday when those two units go up against each other?
Well, they'll challenge us. This is going to be, up to this point, the best opponent at running the football. And, they're very skilled. They run the ball with their quarterback, who's a very good player, and that adds another dimension to it. So it'll be a big challenge for us. And, the big thing we're looking for, are we really going to take on the challenge and play with that extra effort and bite, scratch, and claw to do whatever we can to limit their rushing yards?
Coach, what changes from a defensive perspective when the quarterback does run like Carson Wentz does?
Changes a lot in your design. When you got to defend the quarterback run, that probably puts more pressure on you because you can't have as many guys on the perimeter runs. They'll run a lot of spread sets where they'll run with the quarterback, so we got to make sure we have enough people in that in the inside game to defend against the quarterback run. He's really explosive. When he takes off and goes, he's explosive. So, and these are not just scrambles. We're concerned about the scrambles too, but the designed quarterback runs are difficult to defend.
Being that you've coached in this rivalry before, what do you provide in terms of insight to your guys and what this game, this week, the lead up to it is all about?
Well, you try to talk to them about, hey, there's going to be more attention on it from the outside. I know our fan base is excited and our alums are excited, and I always try to say, hey, coaches are just like the players. We get the same type of outside noise. We hear it, we see it. So the challenge is to not, for that not to be a distraction. You got to focus on your job. I know that's what we do as coaches. And the players, and it's more difficult today than it was years ago with all the social media and all that, but we just really encourage them to focus on what's really important, and that's what goes on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, and then throughout the evening you got to eliminate the distractions and really focus on your job, because we're looking forward to this, because this will be good for our football program, how we handle it.
Since this rivalry hasn't taken place in '03, this is the first matchup in kind of the social media world that you kind of mentioned. Is that a conversation you have with the players, or how do you handle the fact that everything can be out there?
Yeah, we're very upfront with them. We addressed it after the game Saturday night. Hey, before you hit send, you better understand what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're posting. We sure don't want to see anything out there that would be inappropriate or, lead people to believe that we aren't focused on what's really important, and that's our preparation.
John kind of had a game that was a very good game against Wyoming, and then a not so great game, kind of a freshman game, if you will, against Drake. What are you going to say to him this week to really get his confidence level back up to where it was?
Well, when you don't take care of the ball, you lose confidence. And for some reason, fundamentally he was not sound early in the game, and I think it affected him throughout the entire game. I still believe he's a really good competitor. He's a fine young person. He'll bounce back and have some real good games again. His first run of the second half was really a hard-nosed run, and he kind of made a lot of yards on his own there. And he just never really got into a flow, and that was our running game as a whole was not in sync, and that probably frustrated him a bit and all that. But he's got to be able to handle those situations, and and we still believe in him, and he'll get better. And we weren't shocked that he put it on the ground once. Probably that it happened again and again. That was a little bit disappointing, but he'll bounce back.
Bubba, what was the first year you coached against NDSU?
1989.
Anything stand out that year?
Yeah, for me, it would be a lot like what maybe our guys are going through. It was the first time experiencing the build-up, so it's exciting, and in some ways you got to let the guys embrace it and enjoy that part of it, but you got to understand that your job is to prepare as best you can. But it's exciting, but it can be difficult. It can be really distracting.
You have set any memories of that game that still are with you?
Yeah, it was. We traveled down to Fargo, and it was a really windy, cold day. It was in November, and at that time we were throwing the football a lot. So I know we would have rather had it real calm, and we battled. It was a rivalry game that we battled, and we didn't end up winning the game, but it was still a fun atmosphere to be a part of.
Do you have a favorite memory in the series?
Well, there's a lot of them. I think when we broke the streak, that's hard to beat that day in Grand Forks, and the year before when we came so close, that was a memory. I don't know if it's a favorite one. I remember going down the Fargo Dome the first time. That was real exciting, and we were able to win the game. Sure remember Jim Kleinsasser's long touchdown pass. I think a lot of people do. So you have great memories of the rivalry, and that's why I feel it's so important for it to be a part of our student-athlete experience and our fan base and our alums.
Time for one more.
You guys use kind of this game as a recruiting tool to kind of show, the other schools. Obviously, they're not going to be able to play in this game if you do get some freshmen that might be able to play in 2019. But in a bigger picture standpoint, where is this game for you guys?
Well, I think we make our recruits aware of it. Hey, we're playing our in-state rival, and we feel it's important to do that, and we think this is a good challenge for our program. And I would hope that young people would embrace that, a program that wants to go on the road and be challenged and take on a challenge. And we look at it as a great opportunity for our program to grow and a tremendous challenge.